Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and this is No More Water. Bye. Next time. You probably noticed on my opening, it mentions the title. It mentions about the Latino, well, not the Latino, but people of color, pre and post ICE. You see, that was one way they were talking before Trump was elected. You had listened to them last year. They were really derogatory towards black people. And now they're coming out telling a lot of the things that's been happening, such as the government giving them money to open businesses in black areas, yet the black people can't get the business loan. And but see, they were complicit. They're not saying how it was designed to siphon wealth away from the black community, but they were complicit. Now they're playing victim. You know, we don't have time to play with them. They want to play victim now, but they were making all these podcasts against black people last year and previous years. They weren't worried about all of that then. And we're not concerned about them now. At least I know I'm not. Most of the people I know are not. They need to just get out of here and leave us alone. We're not bothering anyone. All we've been doing is just taking care of ourselves the best we can, like we always have. We don't have time to be bothered with anyone else's problems. Of course, I have some videos to show you. I want to show you this one. Listen to this Latino man. I'm gonna start off with him.
You know how y'all black people look at us and say, damn, why is Chico driving that badass truck? Why is Amigo having that badass car? You know how that is? We stick together. Us Hispanics, we work together. We help each other out. As a Hispanic, you know what I have seen with black people? You guys always trying to compete against each other. Who's got the better car? Who's got the better truck? Who's got the better bitch? Always comparing each other's shit. Always trying to fight each other. Always trying to put each other down. Y'all need to work together, like us Hispanics do. That's the difference between Hispanics and black people. That's why a Hispanic starts a business. Most of the time, he's successful because he's not doing it all by himself. He's got help.
Now look. First of all, he says when black people see a Latino in the car, how in the world Pablo got that nice car and all. First of all, you can tell he's lying. You know why? Black people don't think like that. Black people don't care what kind of car some Latino's driving. You can tell when a person is lying because see, other people think like that about black people. How did they get this? How did they get that? And you can tell when a person is lying because they lie according to the way that they think, not according to the way that you think. And he said, because the Latinos, they stick together, they work together. Let's see how they stick together. Let this hit sit down. Yeah, feedback. Okay, let's see how they stick together. He's talking about the Latinos who stuck together when they voted for Trump to have other Latinos deported, and then ended up getting deported themselves. And he's talking about the way they stick together, how the Mexicans hate the Cubans, and the Cubans hate the Mexicans, and the Puerto Ricans hate them both. And is that the sticking together that he's talking about? Even Joe Biden mentioned, black Latinos have more diversity than black people because they're divided into nationalities. He say Latinos start businesses. There are many more black businesses than there are Latino businesses. You need to come out the borough and look around and see. Black people, after white people, has the largest GDP of any other group in this nation. Black people have just a $1.3 $1.3 trillion spending power. That's just spending. That's not all we got. If black people was a nation, when you look at put it together, all we got, we'd be like the 14th richest nation in the world. Our problem is not that we don't have money. And now, no lazy people can be having that kind of type of money. Our problem is not that we were broke. Our problem is that it's been systematically set up for our money to leave out of our community. See other people's money turn over in their community. These other people are giving money, loans, and told they can only build in the black, they can only have a business in the black area. That was designed so that they can siphon the wealth from black areas. It's all systematically designed. The Asians and all these different people was barred from immigrating to the United States until the 1965, the Civil Rights Bill allowed them to come. And the reason it allowed them to come, they found a different way to keep black people from acquiring generational wealth by having foreigners come and set up businesses in their neighborhoods. And that way they can siphon the money out. Matter of fact, listen to this Asian woman. She'll tell you just what I'm talking about. So they telling it now because the ICE and all them is after them now. So now they wanna repent, but it's too late.
Please be patient with me because there's so much here. I think the quick answer is that Asian Americans are given white privilege, especially the Asian Americans who fit the model minority stereotype. The quid pro quo for receiving that privilege is upholding white supremacy culture, which means being anti Black. I was talking with somebody last night who was pointing out that the Civil Rights Amendment was passed in 1964. But also in the 1960s, the United States opened the door to Asian immigration. So now you have an influx of racial minorities who knew nothing about the history of white violence against Black people, knew nothing about the Black civil rights movement. So they arrived with civil rights, not understanding how that came to be. Um, and also, it effectively erased the United States' own anti-Asian history because Asian Americans came in not necessarily knowing about the Chinese Exclusion Act or the internment of Japanese Americans in the United States during World War II. And I think that Asian Americans are used as a buffer between the Black community and the white community because in the 1960s, there was almost a racial reckoning. The white power structure almost had to face accountability for the history of violence against Black people. But instead, Asian Americans were inserted and were pit against each other so that we're always up against each other. And that basically, like, white supremacy escapes accountability. And the example that I think of that sort of started like the root of a lot of tension is Asian Americans were buying into the negative media stereotypes of Black people. And then in the events that led up to what became known as the LA riots, the LAPD kettled protests away from wealthy white neighborhoods and into Koreatown, and then they left. And we know how that played out. So again, the two communities being pitted against each other and away from the white power structure. And obviously, the model minority myth is used to oppress the Black community. And there's so much here. I will be getting more into it, but I feel like that's the quickest answer that I can give that gets a little bit into the history. And I'm really curious to know what the Black community and Asian Americans feel about this. But please be patient with me. Thank you.
Might have to be patient with her because at the same time she's explaining, she's also looking for excuses. See, we've been taught against different communities, but we didn't buy that. We didn't go for it. You know what? We weren't pitted against each other. You were pitted against us. Because we was pitted against each other, we wouldn't have you in our neighborhoods. It's you in our neighborhoods with businesses. So it's how are we against you? It's been you against us. You're only in our neighborhoods because they won't allow you to open up in other areas. They may allow one or two of you around. But I know there's one thing about the Asians, the Arabs, the Indians, and all of you all who have business, any of you people of color who have businesses in white areas, you're a whole different creature when you're in their area. You're just as meek and humble, but in our area, you want to act like a bulldog. And we need to stop you from doing that. We need to treat you like we treat our own. We need to step up to it. And it's our fault because we let it go on. If our people can't get along, we just do the best we can. But these people are not coming up in here. We set up our own bank. That's what black people need to do. And black people can get along. See what people do. I tell you why it seems like that. And it seems like those people are making sense. Like I said before, everything that makes sense is not true. Black people get along. You know, just like anyone else does. Some do, some don't. But see, when people talk about us, they talk about the worst of us. We're always judged by the worst of us. And they're judged by the best of them. So of course we're going to look worse. Many black people get along with each other and have businesses. Matter of fact, like I said, but we're the only ones behind white when it comes to our spending power. How do you think we're able to shut down Target just about their crime? Broke people can't do that. They can't do that. See, but they bring all these other negative stuff about black people because they know people will buy into that easy. But that's what they like to hear. Some Chicano talking about how black people say how he gets the nice. We're not thinking about them. Black people don't think like that. We don't think about who's got a nice car. That's what other people think about us. Because see, there was a time when black people had a nice car, the police would stop us. Let's prove it's our car. There's a light-skinned woman in the car. He would stop it because he thought she was a white woman. But that's not us, that's them. And see, she's lying on a lot of that. She's trying to, at one point, trying to explain their party in it like they didn't have a complicit part. But at the same time, saying that they did. They knew what they were doing, they just didn't care. As long as they were making money, they didn't care. I want you to hear this one. It is.
I'm doing a Dear Black People series from a Latino because there's a lot of quiet stuff that needs to be said out loud about Latinos concerning blackness. So I'm gonna break this up into different little parts, just to keep it short. But the most important thing that I need black people to understand is that the level of retardation that Latinos have going on in their own community definitely outmatches yours in the way that, yes, Latino culture is racist by nature. And so it's not just a racism thing against you, it's a racism against ourselves. And we do ourselves worse than we do y'all. It's like this. I want you to imagine that in your community, light skins actually made an actual effort to keep dark skins down on purpose.
I'm gonna put my mic on. He's lying. Light skinned black people never tried to keep dark skinned black people down. Some of our most famous activists was light skinned black people. And if they got a level of mental retardation in the community that make them uh, hate black people, they need to get some therapy. Don't be bringing that stuff to us. We're not therapy. We don't care what the reason is. All we know is what you're doing. Everything has a reason. We don't have time for you mentally ill people. Go get some therapy. See, at the same time that they're explaining things, they're making excuses for themselves. And I can accept an explanation like when you tell him what you did, but at the same time you're trying to justify it. That's no apology. When you're trying to justify it. But they need to get some mental therapy. We don't have time for that. We have our own problems. Because we know we're hated all over the world. I just got out with some people, we played for the state championship yesterday. We lost. That happens sometimes. But we'll be back next year. The other side of hatred. Every time we play a white team, all you get is those hateful texts. But don't none of them come from us. We talk about the game, they talk about our race. You see, and I'm gonna play you later some foolishness that even some black people are talking. I'll show you. Now here's one. I like playing these videos. Here's one of this one brother. Listen to him. He's gonna explain some things.
Oh my God. So we have this Heather, y'all, who's, doing the usual talking down about black American problems. Originally, one of my followers sent me a video of her talking down about black American men. So I looked through her page and she's, talking down just about black Americans in general. And woman, you are a Jamaican, by the way, who left Jamaica because it's a failed country, your failed society, to come over to America, the country that black Americans built, but now you're bringing up our problems despite you fleeing your country, Jamaica, to get away from your problems. Bro, this is getting annoying with you tethers. Y'all leave y'all country, don't even address y'all problems in y'all own country because y'all run from your problems in your own country, but then come here talking down about black American problems. How about you worry about problems in Jamaica? Stop and pause the video, man. These are problems in your country of Jamaica. I looked up literally problems in Jamaica, and as you can see, stop and pause the video. You can see right here, you can't even get on public transportation in Jamaica because of high crime and violence. This is problems in your country, man, but you're talking about black American problems. How about you worry about black Jamaican problems? Imagine how unsafe a country is to the point you can't even ride the public transportation. I'm from South Florida hood, and I'm safe riding the public transportation. How about you address those problems I just showed you? How about you address every problem in Jamaica and stop worrying about black American problems and black men in America and black women in America? Worry about your problems in Jamaica. See, y'all love to bring up everything going on in our culture and our problems, but bring up yours. Address those Jamaican problems I just showed you then.
See, everyone's worried about us, but we're not worried about them. They want to address their own problems, we're trying to address ours. That's why they're suffering and we're not. Now this was pre-Trump. Now they're trying to apologize like as though we've been buddies all the time. No, we haven't. And we don't need to be now. Work out your own problems. We don't need you. We don't need none of you people. We're gonna make it just fine on our own. We always have. And always will. I don't know what made people think what they say bothers us. Because look, some of you voted talking about you thought we was going to be deported. We are the only people in this nation who are not immigrants. Even the white people are immigrants. They migrated here from another nation. We didn't migrate anywhere. We was forced to come here. We're the only people who didn't immigrate here. The white people migrated because it wasn't a nation at the time. And we was here before this was even a nation. Us and white people. The Indians, but they're just phasing. They're not even counting right now. As long as they can get some worthless land, some casinos and liquor stores, they're satisfied. But look, but we're the only people who didn't immigrate here. Have you ever noticed with white people, Europe is never an option for them? I always think somebody else would go back to, but you know, in numbers, Europe is never an option for them because hardly anywhere in the world because don't nobody want them there in numbers. See, the white people you have here in the United States, they were the lowlifes. They were sent away from Britain to open up their jails and the people they didn't want around. They got rid of them because they were lowlifes. They were the criminals, the thugs. Everything that Trump is saying about other people, that's who their people come from, criminals and thugs. But now they want to put it on everyone else. I don't care what they put on other people, as long as they don't bother us. I don't care who they bother, as long as they don't bother us. The Africans, they come over with the same stuff. Now, out of spite to this, what's her name, Elian or Congresswoman, now Trump want to mess with the Somalians. But see, Trump is not here to build up this nation. He's here to destroy it. They're trying to spread the wealth more broad to more countries through Blackwater and all. They don't want one nation like the United States controlling everything. You know, everything Trump has done, it hasn't been to build up this nation. It's been to tear it down. But because of racism, people don't see it. Their racism takes their mental capacity to see what's going on away. Trump has not done one thing to build up this nation. Everything he's done has been to turn it down. I wonder why one of my lights went out. I still look okay. But everything he's done is to tear it down. But they can't see that because they busy have their eyes on the people who they hate. Us. And then it gets me to say, black people worried about what kind of car Latino drive. We don't think about you like that. We don't dissect you like that. We don't have our mind on you like that. That's the way people does us. We don't do that to other people. We don't care about what you all got. We're not even worried about somebody else's car. We see a black person got a nice car, we just gonna get one too. If you have no type of competition, you wouldn't make it anywhere like this. Competition is a part of human nature, not destructive competition, but just normal competition. That's why when you see on a Saturday morning or whenever a neighbor go out to cut the grass, next thing you know, here come other people out there cutting their grass. That competition actually helps the community, not take away from it. We will get nowhere without competition, but the type of competition he's talking about is a lot. When it comes to black people, Well, why he get that nice woman? Let's go get our own nice woman. That's what we do. We see when we don't try to tear up what he's got, we see he got something nice. Man, I'm gonna go get me one like that. Not hating on him or her. The woman see a woman got her fixed nice, she go get hers fixed. Not trying to spite her. It inspires her to do better. Competition inspires you to do better. If you don't have competition, that's your problem. Your community is jacked up, Mr. Latino. Different one of your factions voted, trying to get the other deported. And got deported themselves. You ever seen black people do anything like that? So, Mr. Latino, you worry about your people and stop worrying about us. Now let me play a little black foolishness for you. Listen to this.
Hispanics practice Jim Crow against black Americans in Houston. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. At Houston Community College, right? The Chandler Caesar, he's a Hispanic man. He got together with the
This is not
director of
foolishness.
HR and the board of trustees, and they came up with this plan to get rid of black employees at high positions. They did anything from putting false complaints in their folders so they could get demoted or get fired. And then they replaced these black employees with Hispanics. Hispanics went up, the hiring for Hispanics went up 50%. These three individuals orchestrated the plan. And this is what they stated in their emails. Now, we Hispanics are going to receive preferential treatment. This plan was successful, targeting black top employees. Now they got a class action suit against Houston Community College for $100 million. They have to come up with some type of settlement by 2026. But yeah, let Houston tell it. They'll tell you like brown and black unity.
You know what? There's never been any brown and black unity. I know. I lived out in Los Angeles for a long time. Those people of color hated us more than the white folks did. Don't get it twisted. They never liked us. They don't now. It's just that they're in trouble now. And I remember black people used to tell them, one day y'all gonna be the new N-words. That day is gone. White people don't realize they're the new N-words too. They're being mistreated. Having forms taken away, having things taken from them. But they can't see it because they still have their eyes on us. Still looking for our downfall. We're rising while they're falling. But they can't see it. See, those are Nigerians. See, they thought all immigrants would stick together. He told how the Mexicans would come to him and say, hey, look, we're all immigrants. We need to stick together. So my heart, they need to fire. He need to fire the black people because they're lazy and hire his people. Hire more Mexicans. And then Nigerian ended up firing them and hires more black people. And see, a lot of those other immigrants go along with those people. But he didn't go along with it. You see, they've never been our friend. And I tell you how they got in trouble, why they're hated now. See, at one time, they were like honorary whites when they do stuff against us. Remember George Zimmerman, who killed Trayvon Martin? He was a Latino. I keep looking down because I got a habit of turning my head to the side. I'm trying to keep it straight. But he was a Latino. But yet, when he killed this 16-year-old black boy, he was treated like an honorary white. He thought he was a white guy. I mean, when he unalived, we see the K word. You see them flags when you say that. But But what happened was they started. They always voted Republican, and they would never vote for a black candidate. What happened was what happened was they during the 2008 presidential elections they fooled them. They turned around and voted for Barack Obama. And you notice that's when they started talking about the browning of the United States. And they've been against the Latinos ever since. Even though many of them turned around and voted for Trump this time, they're still angry with them over Obama. We're the most hated people on the face of this earth. One guy tried to say that we don't bring nothing to the table. That's a lie. We bring a lot to the table. We were talking about all the things that black people invented. And there was a black guy who said he's old hood guy. How can you bring something to the table when every time you bring it, it get burnt down? And your generational wealth and everything is robbed from you. And when they were talking about the black inventions, I'm gonna show you a video of a silly ass black guy. Remember when Trump was talking about all the America builds it all, talking about the inventions, and he didn't know that all the inventions that he mentioned had a black inventor. There's this one black guy who comes on, he's gonna try to debunk that black people didn't build these things. Let me show you how he does. He's a damn fool and don't know what he's talking about. See, when I don't bring up stuff unless I look it up first, find out the cause and effects of it. You see, many of these hood guys, think they can go by their common sense, what sounds good to them. So I said, stay away from this hood. I did a show the other day about people going by hood guy logic. They need to keep that foolishness to themselves. They need to speak proper English. You want to try to tell somebody that old hood guy ideology. Okay, let's
keep screaming this from every mountaintop I can. That's Hassan Ali, and this is Ilhan Omar. We know who Ilhan Omar. Hassan is the president or prime minister of Somalia. They had a roundtable meeting with nothing but Africans talking about getting in to American politics.
that's the wrong one. I haven't really played it yet. I don't think I downloaded the one that I wanted to. He's talking about black people didn't, black guy, saying black people didn't invent all this stuff that they said that they invented. They helped improve it, but they didn't invent it. You know what? He doesn't know what he's talking about. You know who the inventor is by patents. And black people used to have a lot of things taken from them because they couldn't file for patents. They had to go through a white person, and the white person kept their invention. See, a lot of people don't know what an invention is. It was other people involved. I'll tell you why. When you're the inventor of something, that means it's your creation. It was your concept, but that don't mean you built it yourself. That don't mean you was in your garage building it yourself. It was your concept, but yeah, you have to go through a developer. And the developer will put it together for you, and you work with them on it. But it was your concept. You got the patent. And see, that's what he's looking at. He's thinking that the black person didn't build it, so they didn't invent it, just help improve it. No, it was their creation. You get a patent for your creation. And then many times it's sold to the developer and they get a certain percentage and so does you. And see, He was some hood guy talking all the curse, talking about the N words, and you quit listening to these hood guys trying to give you their ideology. But they don't know what they're talking about. They try to go by common sense. See, everything that sounds good is not true. Everything that makes sense isn't true. But things can make sense according to your environment. What makes sense in the hood may not make sense somewhere else. So that varies. What makes sense is like beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Yeah, but I wanted to play that one, but he I think I didn't download it. I meant to. Yeah, but black people invented those things. Now you can find out. Look at who holds the patent, and just think about things being invented that white folks stole. Well, we had the patent on, but we didn't get the patent. They got it, kept it for themselves, and kept all the wealth. Yeah, all those things that they mentioned. There's a whole lot more. The black people have the patent on it. Who has the patent is the inventor. I mean, it was their concept. It don't mean you actually went and built it. It was your concept. The person said that a black person wasn't the inventor is lying because they don't know how the process goes. If I have a concept, I get a patent for it. That's my invention. I may not have built it myself, but it's still my invention. But you have to go through a developer. They develop it. You can have a concept of a device. You may not be able to go build the device yourself. The developer has to do that. They're using your concept that you have the patent on. In times past, there were people who built their own invention. But nowadays, you take your concept you get a patent, take your concept to a developer. But that's the way that goes. But quit listening to these hood guys coming to you with all their cursing and talking about the N word, this and that, and don't know what they're talking about. If they did, they wouldn't be talking like that. But when you come talking like that, I just see you as a stupid fool. And I don't even want to hear it. Now, when I was talking about the Somalians, uh, here's a one I was getting ready to play. That's about the Somalians. See, Trump now want to deport them. They haven't done a thing. He's just angry at the Congresswoman. And Somalians are some good people, though. The ones I know. I'm putting the wrong one. But Trump just want to mess with them. What am I doing? Got to put my own headset on. There we go. The Somalians haven't been okay. So the ones that I know. Yeah, okay, we
Keep
on this
screaming
one.
this from every mountaintop I can. That's Hassan Ali, and this is Ilhan Omar. We know who Ilhan Omar. Hassan is the president or prime minister of Somalia. They had a roundtable meeting with nothing but Africans talking about getting in to American politics will never change. Now, in this clip that I'm about to show, Hassan Ali is talking and he's letting it be known that Ilhan Omar is there to take a black American seat in Congress. It is very important in Ilhan tahay Somali tahay meeshaas lagu jiro qofki Soomaaliya oo aragtidiisu tahay nin madow ha qaato kursigaas ama qof cad ha qaato qof moor marka taas waa lagu dhiirigelinayaa sababtaan arrinkan ugu soo celinaya They are not here to be our friends. They are not here to fight for all black people. They are here to fight for Somalians. That's it. Those are not my words. It's their words. It's their actions, right? So before y'all jump on here, look, just another jealous black American. I'm not jealous of anything. We can't be beat. We're undefeated here. That's something y'all forgot. Mind you, this shit was on camera. So I want to know what y'all got to say about that. I already know that black Americans have no allies at all. We don't have friends here. We don't have allies here, especially Africans. It's sad, but it's true. And it's not coming from us. It's coming from you guys because you guys come over here to this country, automatically look at us as enemy number one. Then you get caught on camera doing this kind of shit. It's absolutely crazy, but I love when people show their true colors. Please tell me who you are so I can believe you the first time.
And see, he's talking about Ilhan Omar, whatever her name is. But I know Somalians I've gotten along fine with, but that don't change what he's saying though, because he's right. What Trump is accusing the Somalians of coming over here and finding terrorist people, making Somalia. I don't know if that's true or not. I met some, like I said, because I know some good ones on the personal level. We know a lot of good white folks on a personal level. Matter of fact, we have more white allies than we do anyone else against their own people. Still, they're allies in certain things, not in everything. Because I find that even white people, well-meaning white folks, have a bit of racism in them. How many times you've had white people you thought were your friend, and they end up saying or doing some racist stuff? Like he said, we're undefeated here. White people haven't been able to defeat us. And we're on the rise and they're on the decline. But they can't see it. Because they think they're invincible, they think they're the best, and they hate us so much, they believe their own rhetoric that we can't do anything. They done everything they could to destroy us. Yet we're still here. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think they'll be gone before we do. I really do. We're being looked out for. I'll tell you why. Have you noticed black people all at once? A lot of people say spiritual, I don't know. Just stop protests. There was no call out to do it, just stop. Matter of fact, we actually stopped after Ferguson in numbers. And still getting lower and lower. We saw that it didn't work. It was out there in Ferguson for 4 months, every night. Same results. So we let others do it, let them do our. See, that's our old way of doing things. We let them do it. Now they're out there getting pushed around, they're dragging white women in the street, beating white men. Then one thing about ICE, they don't care what race you are. You get in their way, they're gonna do something to you. I don't agree with them. I'm just telling you how it is. You know, I say black people need to stay out the way. So far, we have. I record stuff. I live stream those protests, but I never get involved in one. I didn't get involved in the protests with black people out there. I told you before why I didn't. I don't believe in peaceful protests. And I didn't want to mess up that march because you can't hurt me in mine. And then when you think I'm getting ready to do my damage, I got to be peaceful. When you weren't, how is that going to be a meaningful dialogue? You sitting there all messed up, and they sitting there without a scratch. Now you got to be messed up. We both sit there messed up. Then we can talk. I got to get my lick. You know, oh, that's small and petty. I'll just be small and petty. Because trying to be the bigger person don't work for us. Being a bigger person doesn't mean you just let people keep walking over you and you take it with a smile. They treat you bad and you treat them good. That don't work for me. Treat me bad, I'm gonna treat you badder. I don't believe in eye for eye, tooth for tooth. I believe all your teeth for a tooth, and both your eye and your skull for an eye. You always come back stronger. You always retaliate stronger. I'm not saying I should do those things just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. We can't keep letting people walk all over us, and it may get physical one day, and we have to be ready for it. I've been getting these people texting me, you know, why don't you speak about the Palestinian issue? Why don't you mind your business? If I want to talk about them, I talk about them. I don't talk about them because I don't care. They didn't care. They don't care about our issue. We got our own problems to deal with. We don't have time for anyone else's. Because remember, it was the Palestinian who called the police on George Floyd. A lot of these Arabs out here are arrogant with us. They're Palestinians because they had a Palestinian flag on their cars. And you calling, texting me about I'm anti-Semitic. I don't think I am. I don't try to be, but if I want to be, I can be. Why everybody gotta love Jews? Jews don't love everybody. Jews are persecuting Christians over there in Israel. Always have. Persecuting the black Hebrew Israelites. A lot of people say this. I don't even think that's the real Israel. How in the world Israel went from all these black people to all white? It says in the Bible there would be those who say they are Jews, but they're not. They're imposters in the land. They're the synagogue of Satan. And that's those things over there now. You can call me whatever you want. I don't have nobody to answer to. You can't fire me. I don't have anybody one to answer to. I say what I want to say about Jews and anyone else. Jews say things about people. They don't like everybody. Jews hate Muslims. Nobody have to like your religion. They did all this against Mr. Farrakhan because he called his religion dirty religion. You don't have to like their religion. You never come to me do what you got to do. You repudiate what Mr. Farrakhan said. No, before I do, I add more to it. I agree with everything he said. Did I ask him, do you repudiate Mel Gibson, who used to go around Hollywood asking all Jews if you're an urban dodger, like they dodged the gas oven in Germany at Auschwitz. Cursed out the Jewish police and said, oh, you just a effing Jew. You are responsible for all the modern wars. And the police stopped him for DUI. Then he made the movie Passion of the Christ to show how Jews killed Jesus. He's a known anti-Jewish person. You didn't ask him, do you repudiate Reverend Jim Jeff, who always said all Jews are going to hell? When he opened the new embassy in Jerusalem a few years ago, he gave the opening prayer. A rabbi who said all Africans are animals gave the closing prayer. So evidently Jews don't care about a white man saying things against them and don't care about a rabbi, a Jewish rabbi speaking against Africans. So who the hell you think you are to think everybody got to like you? Don't nobody have to like, it's not no one that everybody got to like. Grow up. Well, you don't like Jews. But you know one thing I noticed though? I have to say one thing about that though. It don't be the Jewish group really hiding the anti-Semitic stuff. It be white group. That's why you see they go more after black people than white people because it be white people doing it. The Anti-Defamation League, the Jewish Defense League, they don't have too much to say. As soon as a black person opened their mouth about Jews, can't mention Jews without losing their job. Whoopi Goldberg had to get down on her knees and beg for her job because she said Hitler didn't gas the Jews because the Holocaust was because they were white, because Hitler was white also, it's because they were Jews. Isn't that correct? She had to get down on her knees and beg for a job. I don't have to beg anyone for anything. I say what I want to say. That's why I always worked for myself. Every time, when I was younger, I took a job because you got to until I could make ends meet. I always believed in working for myself. Okay, so I can control my own destiny. I know everyone can't do that. I always couldn't do it. I know everyone can't do it, but those who can do it, that's good. Those who have to work a job, fine. Either way is fine. We all got to make the best way that we can. Everyone can't work for themselves. That's why I hear a lot of people talking about black people. I know I'm a little off topic, but I do that sometimes. Like all black people need to start a business. Everybody can't start a business. Everyone's not equipped to. See, starting a business is not as easy as you think. That's why you have to get a loan, which black people can't get. You need operating capital and just go for a business plan. That even though I knew how to run a business, I still went and studied business. You have to have a business plan. You have to have a 3 and sometimes 5 year projection. Now it's better to have a 5 year. A lot of things you have to do. You just can't say, I'm going to open up a business and everybody come running in. The only type of business you can do that with is like a salon or something. But no, not really salon. They have to keep books and all. Sometimes they have it in their house. And getting to that, let me tell you, a lot of these black women are losing their jobs to the government. Now they're saying they need to open in their own business. The black men couldn't get those government jobs. The black women got them because this out here is a double minority, black and woman. But look, black men always have opened up businesses, but it was clowns. You see, if a white man, I'm gonna get back on the subject. I just have to mention this one thing about it. If a white man fixed on cars at his house, out of his garage, they say he had a mechanic shop at his home. When a black man did it, he's a shade tree, a jackleg mechanic, old jack mechanic, shade tree. See the difference? And it was black people saying this. Black men have always opened businesses for themselves. He was looked down on as a hustler. That's why sometimes you saw those women making 6 figures with them. What's she doing? And oh man, fixing on them cars. He was making more money than she was. Working on them cars. She made 6 figures. He was making more money than she was. You say black women are opening more business because you playing catch up. You begin to do what other people been doing. Let's not get it twisted and start turning on each other. We can't afford that. There used to be a time we used to say black people. Now it's black women and black men. It used to be the black vote. That's the black female and the black male vote. And the black women grew up into their feminism and let them divide us like that. It's you who did that, not us. And black men still say black people. You all just want to talk about black women. We're getting back on subject. I gotta put that in there because we got some problems of our own. It's not just everybody else hating on us. There's a lot of us hating on us. The black women kind of hating on the black men. And you don't want to be a part of us. If you don't, let us know. We can move on. You can't. Because other women love us. Those other men don't like y'all like that. They see y'all as motel material. I know it don't sound good, but it's the truth. Not in numbers. I know you may say, oh, you see this one. I'm not talking about no individual. I'm talking about in numbers. Them women love us, even me. I feel kind of funny sometimes. Young white women, Asian women coming talking to me, old man like me. I'm not gonna tell you how it went, but that's it's all right. 'Cause a young black woman, hello man. You see, only in the black community is age gap dating is looked up down upon. We got so many hang-ups that what holds us back. That's why you keep having these babies by Pookie and Ray Ray. Talking about he walked out. He was never there. You just get it. I was never a family in the first place. But look, getting back to my subject, I got to get on us sometime. Cause I talk about these other people. But we're so fragmented now because it's like black men and black women are like two different entities. And we're not going to make it like that. But they put it all on us. That's why I have to tell the man side sometimes. Everyone used to hearing the female side. Okay, but back to my subject. They he was talking about Elon, uh, whatever that woman name, Omar. Many of those foreigners come here and get in Congress. They do fight just for the immigrants. See, fighting for immigrants don't do us any good. What are we gonna get out of that? They're fighting for themselves. And if they think they're okay again, they're gonna go right back to what they've been doing to us. They're still doing it. They're still talking about us. Why come the blacks not being deported? Why come the blacks not hurting? Now, what would it sound to you like? I'm in the lake drowning and angry at you because you're not drowning. Then asking you to come save me, but at the same time, I'm angry because you're not drowning. When you think I was crazy, the person who I'm asking to come and save me, I want them to drown so they can come drown also. That's what them people sound like and don't realize. We need black people to come help us. And why come they not suffering? We thought they were going to be deported. And you think we're going to help you? Bye-bye. Get on out of here. I don't care what they do to you. Farmers. Why? We thought the blacks was going to come work the farm. Why don't whites come work? Since you such hard-working, industrious people, get your white comrades to work. I'm sure what race is does to a person. Back when slaves was brought in from Africa, you had white people here living like dogs. They didn't have jobs. They wasn't making any money. Living in caves, living in tents, campfires all outdoors. Most of them didn't have a house, and a lot of them. But yet you let them bring in people from the other side of the world to work for free when you didn't have a job. You went along with that. Show how stupid you are. Oh, man, the people next door keeping up a lot of noise. I'm going to have to put a buffer up in there. Talking just as loud. You may be able to hear them, well, I got to carry on. But look, does that make sense to you? I don't have a job, but I want to see them bring in people to work for free to keep me out of a job. That's what they did with white people. And they went along with it because of their racism. The racism was just that strong. And so they rather see black people enslaved and they continue to suffer. See, I want to say, I always knew that one day racism would bring down this nation. And it's about to do that too. Boy, they sure talking loud over there. I'm about to put me a acoustic band up there. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Go get one and do it tomorrow. I used to not be a person in that street next door. But But back to what I was saying. Yeah, we have to black people we have to look out for ourselves. We don't have time to look out for anyone else. But that Hispanic, that's so stupid what he said. Let me play that again. So stupid what he said. I gotta play that again. Hold on. Let me put my earphone on so I can hear this. After everything's quiet here, but my next door neighbor keeps so much noise. They're usually not here this time of night. Okay.
You know how y'all black people look at us and say, damn, why is Chico driving that badass truck? Why is Amigo having that badass car? You know how that is? We stick together. Us Hispanics, we work together. We help each other out. As a Hispanic, you know what I have seen with black people? You guys always trying to compete against each other. Who's got the better car? Who's got the better truck? Who's got the better bitch? Always comparing each other's shit. Always trying to fight each other. Always trying to put each other down. Y'all need to work together, like us Hispanics do. That's the difference between Hispanics and black people. That's why a Hispanic starts a business. Most of the time, he's successful because he's not doing it all by himself. He's got help.
You hear that? No. I guess he's talking about the Latino gangs out there unaliving each other, cutting each other's throat. Cause you know what? A Mexican guy told me he was working with me out in Los Angeles. He said, "Oh, I wish we stuck together like black people do." Do you know that everybody thinks black people really sticks together? That's why when you see you at a place when the black person misbehaves, they come after black folks who didn't have anything to do with thinking y'all all together. But look though, they had the what black person you know worried about what kind of car a Latino drive? I told you before when I first started. We don't think like that. They think like that. Who's driving it? We just go get our own good car. See, that's the way they think. When you lie on someone, you lie on them according to the way you think, not according to the way they think. They worry about what black people got. We're not worried about what they got. When they open a business, what business? A chop shop or something? Like I said, black people, we number two behind white people when it comes to spending power and gross national product. If we were a nation, we'd be like some say the 17th richest. But they're talking about just black spending power. But your spending power is not all you got. That's not taking into account your savings and other money and property and all. We're not a broke people, just that, like I said, the wealth leaves our community. They set these immigrants up in our community, give them loans. Well, listen to this. I'm gonna play this again. Listen to this Asian woman again. She explained it to me. I'm gonna come behind it again because some people might just be coming on. I played this early. I'm gonna play this one more time.
Please be patient with me because there's so much here. I think the quick answer is that Asian Americans are given white privilege, especially the Asian Americans who fit the model minority stereotype. The quid pro quo for receiving that privilege is upholding white supremacy culture, which means being anti Black. I was talking with somebody last night who was pointing out that the Civil Rights Amendment was passed in 1964. But also in the 1960s, the United States opened the door to Asian immigration. So now you have an influx of racial minorities who knew nothing about the history of white violence against Black people, knew nothing about the Black civil rights movement. So they arrived with civil rights, not understanding how that came to be. Um, and also, it effectively erased the United States' own anti-Asian history, because Asian Americans came in not necessarily knowing about the Chinese Exclusion Act or the internment of Japanese Americans in the United States during World War II. And I think that Asian Americans are used as a buffer between the Black community and the white community, because in the 1960s, there was almost a racial reckoning. The white power structure almost had to face accountability for the history of violence against Black people. But instead, Asian Americans were inserted and were pit against each other, so that we're always up against each other, and that basically like white supremacy escapes accountability. And the example that I think of that sort of started like the root of a lot of tension is Asian Americans were buying into the negative media stereotypes of Black people. And then in the events that led up to what became known as the LA riots, the LAPD kettled protests away from wealthy white neighborhoods and into Koreatown, and then they left. And we know how that played out. So again, the two communities being pitted against each other, and away from the white power structure. And obviously, the model minority myth is used to oppress the Black community. And there's so much here. I will be getting more into it, but I feel like that's the quickest answer that I can give that gets a little bit into the history. And I'm really curious to know what the Black community and Asian Americans feel about this. But please be patient with me. Thank you.
I'm gonna be patient with that foolishness. Let me tell you something. Black people haven't been pitted against anyone. You were pitted against us. But we was pitted, like I said before, if we were pitted against you, we wouldn't have you up in our neighborhood. Since, like I said, these Arabs and all these different people up in our neighborhoods, they're here siphoning wealth from our neighborhoods. That's why they can only get loans to open up businesses in our neighborhood. Keep the wealth, keep the wealth leaving our neighborhood. But the black city officials who control the politics, they allow it. We need to set up fund to fund these black businesses. So you may say, you just save up some money and open your business. It's not that easy. You can't just always take your personal money and do that. This nation is ran not by cash, but by lines of credit. When people say that a person is let's say he got $50 million, that don't mean they have $50 million cash. That means in contracts, future earnings, and maybe some cash, but not like that thinking. Damn, I gotta do my joint. It's so loud over there, so loud. Big mouth. But look, yeah, they are, but yeah, we haven't been pitted against anyone. They were pitted against us. Now, one Asian can name what black people have done to them, and we can name a lot of Asians have done these black women. But they keep running up in them stores, so there's nothing you can do about it if they're gonna keep running up in there. Yeah, if they're gonna keep running up in there. And I think I'm about to end this early. I'm about to do something about this with this neighbor. I never had a neighbor before, and they're usually not here this time of night. Yeah. And so yeah, these people, I don't like a person who's, I don't feel, nah, I can't say like, but I don't agree with the person don't care what they say when they're trying to make an excuse for themselves at the same time. And that's what she's doing, trying to tell what happened, but trying to make an excuse for her people at the same time. We haven't been against anyone. The problem is everyone's against us. Yeah. But look, I'm gonna end this early tonight, man. I'm gonna have to go back and talk to them. I don't know. You hear him on the mic more than me. So but look, I'm on damn, listen to that. On Friday night, we're gonna be doing the Edwardsville, East St. Louis Flyers and the Edwardsville basketball game on City Champions Media on YouTube and on this page. So tune in and support our Cash App so we can continue bringing you those games because we can't do it out of our pocket because that the sports program shows that to be able to sustain itself. You can't take from one and put it in the other. And if I can't support it, and I don't have a contract with the district, they cut that after I had a white. Remember R.J. Krause? He was my announcer. I'm talking to the local audience right now. They thought he was the boss. So I was able to get contracts, even though I was one signing. Because I was thinking the white guy was fun for him. But that was on the cable channel. I still have the cable channel, but I just don't run it anymore. I just fire it back up, but people don't watch cable anymore. But look, so after he died, they stopped letting me have a contract. So I have to do it out for Cash App and PayPal. But if I can't I can't make it that way, I'm gonna have to stop doing sports and just stick to the stuff that's bringing in revenue. Because I am a businessman and I can't. And when you're doing sports like that live, Cash App and PayPal is the only way you can get paid. Unless you have, these cheap people around here, they don't really want to pay much for sponsorship. They do it for some of the other shows, like they would do it more for sports. You get more of an audience with that. I'm just saying to let you know, I'm gonna start doing these games, but if I can't get any support, I'm gonna have to stop. And the people call me and take me, why come you don't do the games? Well, why do you think I don't? It's not profitable. I'm a fly fan, but I'm also a businessman. And if I can't make any money, I have to leave it alone. So on Friday night, we're gonna bring you the Edwardsville game in the East St. Louis Flyers. So tune in. I have my audio together. I'm trying out some new mics on those last couple of football games, but I'm gonna have to go back to my old ones. They weren't sounding too good. I don't think they were very compatible. But we'll be ready. I think the game started at 7 on Friday night. You have to support me because if not, I'm gonna have to cut the sports loose. Look, I want to thank you for tuning in tonight. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. This is No More Water. Bye. Next time. So keep watching and keep tuning in, all right? Thanks a lot. Good night.